In 2025, I spent thousands of hours, made 6 figures, and have built hundreds of apps vibe coding. And in this video, I'm going to be showing all my tips to building beautiful front ends. If you've tried vibe coding your own apps before, you probably know that it doesn't end up looking like this most of the time, and ends up looking really purple, really ugly, and just not put together. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build apps like this, that are a lot more intuitive, aesthetically pleasing, something that gives your app a good first impression, and will, in the long term, be the goal to you retaining and attracting customers initially. Or you can just use this advice to make really good, cool vibe coding apps. So we're going to be using the free tool Google AI Studio for this one, as this is a brilliant coding agent for front-end apps. Now for the model, we always like to go with Gemini 3 Pro. Even though I typically use Claude Opus for backend, as we're only doing front-end, Gemini 3 Pro is going to be amazing for this. Okay, so what I'm going to be building today is a polymarket-like prediction market. Yet there's only one daily question a day, which means that all the liquidity and all the eyeballs are going to go into that singular question. Now, it would be questions like, will it snow in London today? Or will Arsenal beat a certain team? Or will the US president do a certain thing? So I'm going to build with you the beautiful front end that this app is going to have. So after clarifying what I wanted to ChatGPT, I'm now going to say that I'm going to build a front end, and I want you to create a beautiful and detailed PRD for this idea. Now the app should be glassy, minimalistic, inter-style bold. It should be spacious and intuitive. The graphs that show the historic price movement of the daily prediction should be visually appealing yet minimalistic. So I'm going to press paste. So what we're going to get now is a beautifully written PRD that we can use to get our initial interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of this and then paste it in and press build. Now this is not the only thing I'm going to do, of course, because we're now going to have to iterate. And what I've done is I've taken a couple of screenshots of examples that I really like, so that if it doesn't come out very nice, which for the first prompt we've ever done, I doubt it's going to one-shot it really well. So I've taken a couple of screenshots that I think are really going to work for this project. And another tip for you guys is going onto Dribble or Mobbin and looking at these components. Let's say you really like this. Well, what you can do is you can save the image and paste it as context into the coding agent, into Google AI Studio, and then what Google AI Studio will do is it will take this as context and your app will look almost identical to this. So this is where the fun begins. We now have the initial app, and as you can see, it's very simplistic, so it definitely took that rules. But if I'm honest, I don't really like it. First of all, I think we want to go for a whiter screen. We don't want dark mode yet. And also, it looks like it's for a mobile layout, which I don't really understand why. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a little bit of a context that we've just been speaking about. And we're going to improve this bit by bit, iteratively. So this is one bit of context I provided for it. Basically, Polymarket's intuitive design, which I really like. And then a feature of Kalshi, which I also really think is very nice. So I said, thanks. But I want you to keep the core functionality the same, yet change the front end so that it's light, follows the images I provided to you, same color schemes, styling, spacing, etc. Reason why I said thanks is because whenever you thank an AI agent, what it typically does is performs better. So anyway, I'm going to paste this in, I'm going to send the prompt, and we're going to see now what it does. So it shouldn't take that long as it already has a core functionality. I actually really like this intuitiveness. The fact that you can see the market consensus in big letters, you can then use a slider or you can type in the amount that you want. And then you can see the odds and your potential payout. So let's say I was to do $100 on no, then I'd get $260. Yet on yes, I'd get 162. And it changes ever so slightly, indicating that it understands that this would actually be a fluid market consensus instead of it just being fixed. I really like this. But there's definitely a lot of things that we can improve from this. Okay, look at this. We can see that it's actually taken that in context and actually made some adjustments to make it almost look identical to the context we provided. Now, this is too much of a copycat for Polymarket, maybe. I believe that it's maybe slightly a little bit too similar, but it's 10 times more intuitive and 10 times better for desktop this way. So let's see, we can switch from buy to sell, and switch from no to yes. And as you see, they still have the potential payouts. They still have the graphs. There's some stuff that doesn't really make sense, like the possibility that you can switch from 1 hour to 6 hours to 1 day to 1 week to all, when this would only be going on for 1 day. Yet I really do like the fact that We didn't even specify this, but which describes that the market will resolve to yes if snow is recorded, blah, 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 blah. So we can go here and press 100. As we see, our balance changed, so we lost $100, and yeah, we got a potential payout. And down here, our portfolio, we invested a total of $100, and we have 155 shares. Okay, so now what I've done is I've gone back onto ChatGPT, the same conversation with all the context of the previous things. This is where I created my PRD, and instead I've said, great, can you now write me an aesthetic landing page PRD? I will give you lots of gorgeous images of landing pages. The landing page should be inter-style, glassy, minimalistic, and lots of pretty animations. Now, if we just press send, hopefully it's going to cook up something really, really nice. Okay, so if I paste that into Google AI Studio, then hopefully after a minute or so, it will come up with a landing page as well. Amazing. Now we have our landing page. Let's see what it looks like. So if you press start predicting, okay, it takes you instantly to there, of course. Yeah, if we reload the page and we go back to landing page, what else is there? Okay, so we've got the live probability in a little square, and yeah, it's a nice little animation there showing the percentage and showing a graph of if it was snow in London today. And okay, nice. So we got 3 different panels saying only one market, data reset, collective mind, and yeah, just the workflow of what basically happens, and see today's probability. So yeah, already that's really, really nice. I really like that. I think we can definitely do better though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it if it can box up this the world has probability, shift it onto the left, and then we can move a graph upwards. So in Google AI Studio, another great tip for you guys is that you can go to this annotate app and then you can draw what you want. So I just drew this and pointed an arrow to the side. I said, nice. Now if we move this hero to the side, we can implement a breathing chart on the right side in horizontal parallel. So we add that to the chat and we send it away. Brilliant. It's starting to actually come together. Now what I want to do is I want there to be 2 different boxes. So I've said, so make these sections modularized by having the hero containerized by a rounded aesthetic container as well as a graph. Okay, nice. So now what I want to do is I want to make the hero a little bit smaller so that it fits a lot better than it is right now. Okay, this is starting to look a lot better now. The world has a probability and we got all of this stuff. We hover on here and we can start predicting. It shows an example trade of a chart. Now I've just said on this I want to make it bold, so I just highlighted it and said now make the text etc. bolded, and I said also move up the lower sections so they aren't too far apart. I feel like this is slightly too far apart. So yeah, we're iteratively improving the website as we're going on and it already looks a lot better. Also, I'd rather that it's more simple and more minimalistic, driving people to actually click on this rather than it being really, really detailed and people just misunderstanding. I think that's a lot better that you drive people to your app. The landing page should just be something that attracts people and converts them, invokes attention and converts them. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do is just look over what it's done. Nice, everything's tighter now. Okay, so now I'm going to say put everything in a box just like you did with the hero, same color, same style, then add a slightly gradient dark gray background. The reason why I'm doing this is if we have a different background to the squares, then our eyes are more easily going to avert to the squares. Right now you can't see the squares as clearly as I would have wanted someone to be able to do. Brilliant, so it's starting to come together. Now what I actually want to do as a last thing is to have the everyday anew consensus, those little square boxes, there to be more of them and for it to slide leftwards, and for the only one market, daily reset, collective mind to be able to slide rightwards. Okay, so I've said nice. Now I want you to add similar tiles to everyday a new consensus square, the titles that say, and then all the squares, and make them carousel leftward. This is going to be interesting seeing if Google AI Studio can actually do this, because this is a decently tough task to one-shot. But yeah, I think then it's going to be really nice. I'm going to ask Google AI Studio to do the same thing on the right side. Lovely. Now the last change is going to be asking to add a dark mode switch for where you can trade probabilities. This is what it looks like. I think it looks really, really cool. It's a very, very simple put together, and of course, if I was to build this in entirety, I'll do a couple more changes. But the fact that this has taken us around 10 minutes is quite good. So the last thing we're going to do, as I said, is to see if we can possibly add a dark mode switch onto where we can trade probability. But yeah, it's a very, very nice intuitive flow, very clean, very aesthetic. And yes, I do like it. It's very consistent. Okay, the last change of today. Shall we see if it works? Let's see. Yes, awesome. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more vibe coding content and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.